I joined the Army halfway through my senior year in 2000. I was in the delayed entry program, didn't leave till after I graduated in August. I did my boot camp at Fort Sill, Lawton, Oklahoma, my AIT at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. That's where I learned to work with the Patriot missile system. I was in the Air Defense Artillery part of the Army. So after I graduated AIT, a couple months later, 9/11 happened. So, needless to say, a couple months later, we deployed for Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. I got stop loss needs of the Army. They kept me in an additional 10 months. So, in '04, I got an honorable discharge. And then, career wise, I kind of jumped around to a lot of different industries. I was a truck driver, a salesman. I worked in the asbestos and mold industry. Then, I worked in the concrete industry. But what brought me to JDog was a previous employer kind of told me about him, told me to go to a mixer. And when I went, I really didn't know much about it. But when I went, I immediately fell in love with the mission and the whole veteran aspect, and just seeing the obnoxiously beautiful vehicle wraps and the uniforms. And it just kind of got me excited to be like, you know what, like after all these years since '04, I never really celebrated the fact that I was a vet. But now not only can I celebrate that, but I could put veterans to work and kind of help other people out. So that immediately drew me in. And above all, I think I viewed it as a challenge, like a challenge to see if I was capable, number one, of doing the work, because not just anyone is built for this job. I mean, it takes a special person to in and out, have the intestinal fortitude to do quarter cleanouts and added cleanouts in the middle of July. Like it's not an easy job. So I saw it as a challenge, and I always like to step up to challenges. And then just being a business owner, there's a lot of challenges with that. But with JDog, you have such a good support system that you're really not doing it alone. Even though you're alone in your territory and kind of working that, in the grand scheme of things, no matter what happens, there's always someone to answer a question. Like in that sense, you're definitely not alone. And that's where that brotherhood of ethos and being a part of something bigger than yourself really comes into play. And like that just, all that together kind of drew me into JDog. And 5 years has gone by. It feels like a year has gone by. Like it's just time's flying because I'm having a blast. I actually was working for a company in the concrete industry, and they actually put me on to JDog, and because I was a special projects project manager for them, and I started doing things like kind of outside of my work scope. So they're like, hey, we have an opportunity that might work for you. There's this company called JDog. They're having a mixer this Friday. Why don't you go check it out and report back on Monday? So I went to it really not knowing anything about it. But after talking to the head team at headquarters and just listening to the mission and what they're about, I immediately fell in love with it. So I went back on Monday and I was like, this seems really cool. I was like, what can I do? So we figured out our first territory. They helped me get started with that. And I've been doing this for 5 years now, and I have no regrets. I love it. The challenge would probably be the one specific thing that really draw over the veteran, the whole aspect of it. But the challenge of like, you know what, like I've worked for people my whole life. I'm ready to work for myself and kind of see what I could do. And in the whole risk mitigation thing, to join a franchise is, I mean, it's not 100% safe because it still takes a lot of work and it's not easy to do. But the beauty of a franchise is they give you a playbook to be successful as long as you do what's in that playbook, and they give you an amazing support system. And it's kind of cool to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself, kind of like when I was in the Army, like just being a part of something bigger. Because if I did junk removal on my own, I would never be on a national television show. That's all through JDog. I mean, their outreach is way bigger than I could ever do. So I just feel honored to be a part of it. So our first territory was Southern Lancaster County, which is about 45 minutes west of Philadelphia. It's what people call Amish country. And my second territory is actual Lancaster County. So there's a little bit of urban, but it's mostly rural. And I absolutely love it. We have such a huge community backing. And it's funny because once we first started, our clientele are generally housewives between the age of 25 and 85. And when we would show up to a job, my buddies and I were all pretty big, muscular guys to do what we do. And we're in uniform. I mean, this is the uniform that I served in. So this is what I proudly wear to work now. And when these women would open their doors, I could tell they were kind of intimidated, like, whoa, who are these big guys? And I was like, oh man, the veteran thing is backfired. And I was like, so what can I do to kind of twist this and show people that we're here to help? We're not here to intimidate you at all. So we started doing these social media videos. And the reason why I bring that up is because we got this huge following. We would get like between 5 and 10,000 organic views on these videos, just doing our job or just kind of making fun of what we do. One video, I turned my truck into an actual dog and walked it down the street and played fetch with it. So just by doing simple things like that, our community starts sharing everything. And now when I hire people, I always joke with them and I say, listen, I want to make you Facebook famous. And to this day, my truck commanders, my junk removal specialists, when they're out and about at the Wawa gas station or Walmart, people are like, oh, you're that guy from Facebook. Like it's gotten to the point where now customers are even like, are you guys going to shoot a video on our job? And it's just the community support has been absolutely amazing. So what I'm most excited about, my future with JDog, is actually not even working in my territory. It's season 2 of the show when that happens. So this show is like, I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's called Operation Hidden Treasures, and they filmed 10 episodes. Our crew was in 9 of them for season 1. And Sunday morning it would air on the Discovery Channel. So before church, my family and I would sit down and watch it on TV. And those are memories that I'll keep forever. So what I'm excited about is growing the show and hopefully keeping that thing going. Even if it doesn't, though, I can still say that I was on a reality show. You know, not too many people could say that, and we still have the memories of sitting down watching it together and all the people we helped. Now, in my territory, I recently just got my second one, the Lancaster territory. So that covers Lancaster City. So I'm really excited about expanding there, treating it just like I did my first territory, and just becoming the go-to for junk removal. Short-term goals would be to continue in servicing the new territory. Long-term goals are definitely, I want to get more trucks, more trailers, more veterans to work. I'm working on getting a warehouse that actually we just got a month and a half ago. So we're going to start doing some resale for the items that we can't donate to people, but they're still good items. We're starting a resale thing. So our first sale should be next month. And then I do have a 5-year plan where I want to open up a warehouse, and I have 4 or 5 different businesses I want to do out of there, but all junk related. So that would definitely be my long-term plan. But right now, we're fresh in the new territory. I want to kind of make our presence known and then be able to grow in that. And I'm very happy with 2 territories because it seems like if one's slow, the other is busy. So overall, we've been very busy, very blessed. Obviously, reputation is huge in our industry, and word of mouth is everything in the rural communities that we service. I mean, social media is big, Google and stuff, and Facebook. Like I said, we get a lot of views on our videos, but just doing a good job and people telling their neighbors or family members, and it's fun to watch this thing grow. So let me start by saying, actually, the past 4 years, I have not set my alarm clock, believe it or not. You can actually ask my wife. I have an internal clock. I wake up between 4:30 and 5 a.m. because I'm so excited to start the day and get the junk in. And what really motivates me is on the day-to-day part, just helping people that are incapable of doing this themselves. We did a garage clean out for this old lady a couple weeks ago, and she had a car for like 40 years until it finally fell apart. So she brought a new Dodge Durango, and it's sitting outside in the elements while her garage was full of these empty boxes. So she called us, we came in, it was a full trailer of just recyclables. So we filled the trailer. She comes out, she's like, wait, before you leave, watch me pull into my garage. I haven't done this in 30 years. So she gets in her Durango, she drives in her garage, she jumps out and she's like in tears. She hugs us and she's like, I could have never done that myself. Thank you guys so much. And that's one job. We do 3 to 4 jobs a day. So to be able to impact people on that level daily, it literally fills my bucket. I mean, I couldn't ask for something better. And it's funny because our job is not an easy one. I mean, it is a very difficult job, but we're there to serve our community just like we served our country, but now we're doing it stateside, and we may go to war with junk every day, but the beauty is we get to go home and go to sleep at night. So it's a blast. Like, I just enjoy the impact that we make on people. And then don't even get me started on the donations and the giveaways we do. Like, seeing people in tears after we drop off like a full dining room set or living room set free of charge to these vets. We actually just gave away a $2,200 snowblower to a female vet down in Kirkwood. And the cool thing was the day of the drawing, I think we had like, it was probably over 100 people, in for this drawing for the snowblower, and the day we pulled her name was her birthday. So like you can't even make that up. Like she was just ecstatic. So when we went to drop that off, she ran up, gave me a huge hug, and was just like in tears. And I couldn't do that without being JDog. Like it just fills my bucket. A typical textbook day is we have 3 to 4 jobs on the schedule, depending what they are. So the guys meet here at 8 a.m. in the morning. I brief them. We kind of go over the schedule, and then they get started. Now, a lot of times the schedule has changed because once we're on site, even if I quoted a half a trailer for a job, people get excited because you're like, wait, can you take this? Can you take that? Oh, can you take this too? And then a half trailer turns into a full trailer, which could push back the other jobs of the day. And then generally between jobs, we're either going to the landfill, the storage unit, the scrapyard, depending on what we pick up. We do sort things in our trailer. So as we're doing a job, we might put the junk in the back, then the metal, then the donatable. So then we'll hit our storage unit, drop off the donatables, hit the scrapyard, drop off the metal, and then hit the landfills, drop off the junk, then go on to the next job. So just like any mission in the Army, you have a plan to start your day, but as you know, any plan could go haywire. So throughout the day, we kind of have to adapt and overcome, keep other customers up to date on what's going on with the truck and trailer. And yeah, you got to keep your head on a swivel, but that's kind of why I like what we do, because before I've worked in an office setting and sitting at a cubicle, and that literally destroyed my soul. I was not happy. I was just like watching the clock, couldn't wait to get out. Well, here, every day is something different. You never know what you're getting into. You meet amazing people, and then next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock. You're like, oh man, we're heading back home. Like, what are we doing tomorrow? You know, it's fun because every day is something new. The thing that I've enjoyed most about JDogging and being my own boss is the fact that we can do what we want. You know, like I'll have random mandatory fun days, which is a military term. So, for example, 2 months ago, I had stacked up the schedule on a Friday. I put 8 jobs on there, which never happens. And the guys were freaking out. They're like, why do we have 8 jobs? Like per truck, I put 8 jobs on there because we had 2 crews running. And they're like, what is going on Friday? Everybody was so worried, but I'm like, just wait, you'll see. So Friday morning when they came in, I was like, you know what? Screw the schedule, get in the car. And everyone's like, what? So we hop in my car. I started driving. They're like, dude, what is going on? I'm like, it's a mandatory fun day. We're going to see the new Top Gun movie. So I took the crew out to movie tavern. We got to eat lunch, watch a movie. Then I let them go early on a Friday, which was pretty cool. Another thing we did at the end of this summer, one of our crew members had to go back to school, so we were losing him. So to celebrate his summer work with us, we had another mandatory fun day. Took the crew out to Hershey Park. We spent the day riding roller coasters, making memories, and that's what I love. Because even though being a business owner is very hard work, there's a lot of things to do, a lot of responsibility. I always like to take time and go, you know what, like we work hard, let's play hard. Like let's take a mandatory fun day and do what we want. And who's going to tell us not to? You know, because it's our business. So as much work as we do, we try to have as much fun. And that's what I love because there's no one to tell me not to. You know, it's kind of like we do what we want.